It's the BNS in 20 Minutes or Less podcast. Your daily download of X92.9's X Mornings with Beckler and Shauna.
For House of Cars.
It's Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. I'm Beckler.
I'm Shauna.
It is the morning after the federal election, and everything is the same as it was yesterday.
Yep.
Nothing really changed. The federal government looks very, very much the same as it did last time around. Justin Trudeau is still the prime minister of what will be a minority government.
Yep.
We didn't really even have much to say about it because nothing changed. So it seemed like an enormous waste of time and money. This first segment on today's podcast, we got a message about it, and I think maybe some people took our words wrong. We're talking about like how some people are upset that they have to show proof of vaccination at businesses. And I said here that, direct your anger at the government or at the business owners who chose to enroll in the program. And that was the wrong thing to say because businesses here didn't really have much of a choice.
No, and the whole point of this was just to talk about, that you direct your anger at the government, essentially, not the people who don't have any choice. And we've talked before. We talked last week about how it's not the business owners who have a choice either, because their choices are either to not allow anyone to, let's say, get into their restaurant, because you can't have indoor dining if you don't, jump in on this program. So that's not really a choice.
No, it's the illusion of choice.
Exactly.
Here. The government has given themselves an escape shoe where they can say, hey, we didn't mandate it, but you effectively mandated it.
Yes.
Like, what business is going to choose to... Your options are lose your business or go along with the program. So
do not go after business owners either, because they really don't have a choice in this.
So maybe the person who messaged us as they were a business owner didn't hear us talk about that before, and I understand why they maybe misunderstood, but we'll just jump into it now.
The BNS in 20 Minutes or Less podcast.
So my good old neighbor Terry, Tear Bear, he had a bit of a day yesterday. I don't know if he was a little worked up because of the new restriction exemption program or whatever. But when I got home yesterday, Terry and his mullet were in the alley screaming at the construction crew who are digging up a couple of intersections outside his place right now because he thought they were making too much noise, I imagine. So
come on, Terry was
swearing a blue streak and telling them that they'd better get this shiza done and just going on and on for them. And these poor construction workers are just like...
Terry, you know that the crew's got work to do.
Yes.
It's not their decision.
Nope.
They're told where to go.
They're just doing their job.
Yes.
They're not the ones to yell at if you're frustrated by this. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could maybe contact the city or whoever is in charge up higher up. But these construction workers are just there doing their job, Terry. I'm a little alarmed by the number of people who are yelling at the wrong folk right now. Like, the 18-year-old hostess at the restaurant who's asked to make you show your proof of vaccination. Like, they're not the ones to yell at.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, my buddy said he was at the gym the other day and they were checking vaccination status for the first time, and she said someone was getting all worked up and giving it to the girls who were working the front door. And it's like, you think that they made this decision?
Yeah.
Like, do you think they have any control over what happens here at all?
It's not them.
Just don't come if you don't or take it up the chain if you have a problem.
Exactly.
It's not.
Make sure that if you are angry and you want to direct that anger, that you're directing it to the right people at least. Don't go. The construction worker, Terry, is not the one to yell at about the noise. He's just doing the road work that needs to be done.
Nor are the employees in the restaurant that are asking for your vaccination status. Like, they don't want to do it either.
Nope. Nope. That Tim Hortons employee who has to double check when they're busy as hell and trying to get you your coffee, that they don't want to do that either.
It's okay to be upset about this, but direct it at the right people.
Yes,
direct it at the government. Direct it even at if you think that the business owner shouldn't be enrolled in the program, whatever.
Talk to them.
Yeah, it's not the employees.
No.
Jesus, Tear
Bear.
Clean your butt, Tear.
BNS in 20 Minutes or Less.
So it looks like Justin Trudeau will be our prime minister for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
At least. I was thinking a bit about Justin Trudeau yesterday and how when he was elected in 2015, you probably remember this, he kind of gained international fame for... he was progressive and forward thinking and seen as, cool and handsome.
Yep.
And everyone said, isn't this great that he represents our country?
He was kind of a mascot for Canada.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a mascot. Mm-hmm. And then he had some blunders. He had the India trip. He had blackface, and he made international headlines for the wrong reasons. And his detractors said, isn't he an embarrassment to Canada? And I was thinking, I stand apart from both of those groups in that I don't care what the rest of the world thinks about our prime minister.
I remember you and I talking about that even way back when we were like, why is that what people are focusing on? What other people, like other countries, people who aren't involved in the whole process, why do we care what they think about our leader?
Why? It doesn't
I know.
really. I mean, I care about our diplomatic relations with our allies. I care about what our trading partners think about us.
Yes.
At that level, but what the average person in another country thinks about our prime minister, I could not give less of them.
I know.
It just it doesn't. You think about what the average person would know about Canada. Pick a country. Pick just the average person off the street. What would they know about Canada? Probably that we play hockey. We say sorry. Maybe they would know that, like, I don't know, Jim Carrey is from here or something.
Yeah.
But other than that,
That would be it.
I mean, it's not a very nuanced opinion, right? Like, think about what we know about other countries. Like, think about countries like most people here probably couldn't even name the leaders of some fairly big, important countries around the world. Do you know who the prime minister of Italy is?
No.
Sweden?
Nope.
South Korea?
If I really thought about it, I'd probably be able to come up with maybe a couple. But yeah, no, off the top of my head, nope.
Australia? Who's the president of Mexico right now? Like, so why would people in those countries care what I think about their leaders? Like, you elect a leader to make decisions that affect you as a person from that country.
It's
so,
true.
you know, how we look on the international stage because of it could not be less important to me. You know?
As you said, no frigs about it.
None.
No.
We do not need to win an international popularity contest in that sense. I want Canada to continue to be the kind of place where, you know, people would feel safe coming here and that sort of thing. But like, what the world thinks of our leader, not very important to me at all. Ranks pretty low.
BNS in 20 minutes or less.
I was out on a bike ride on Sunday and I passed this church where there was a parking attendant with a giant flag helping people navigate the parking lot. The church was so damn hopping that they had a full-time parking attendant helping people just navigate and get through there. That's how insane it was in there. I need to go check out the service because it was humming. Like, it was just humming with people. There were so many people. It looked like a Stampede Events parking lot is how busy it was.
Did they have like the wands where they're like waving people in, you know, like you come
Instead of
this
the wands,
way
they were using the flag to do it. And they were like honestly indicating, and people were all over the place. There were so many cars, and I was like, what is going on here? I need to get there. But I actually looked into it and I found out in the States, a ton of churches, especially those mega churches, have parking attendants as well.
Oh, I believe it, because some of them have like, 10,000 capacity, 15,000 capacity?
A lot of them charge for parking. Because, of course, to be one with
At
God,
church?
you also have to pay, okay? Not just the collection plate, but you have to pay to get your car in the parking lot
I'd be
as well.
turning around and going home.
Oh, my God. But I actually found a job opening for this church in Indianapolis, and they were looking for a parking attendant. And just have a listen, okay? I've got it here. Must have a knowledge of parking attendant duties. Must have church membership. Makes sense. Must be filled with the Holy Ghost. Must be lovers of the souls of men and women. Shall be an example to the church in soul winning. Shall be an example to the church in spiritual growth by coming at least 1.5 hours before each service to pray yourself. Okay. Shall attend any usher.
Just to work the
meetings.
lot?
Must have a stable walk with God. Holy hell. That is more
What was that
requirements.
last one?
Must have a stable walk with God.
How do you prove that? Who's your reference?
There are more requirements than any job I've ever had in my life here, and I have no idea. Like, how do you prove you're full of the Holy Ghost?
I love how it took that turn at the start. It was like, okay, you must know the duties of a parking attendant.
Yep.
What was the second one?
Then it was, must be filled with the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you need 5 years experience. You need a valid Class 5 driver's license. You need clean piss. You got to have quite a bit of Holy Ghost in you.
Proof of Holy Ghost as well. Like, you have to show it. Okay. Do we have a card that proves this? Is that next? Proof of the Holy Ghost.
Sorry.
Where's your proof card?
What were some of the others?
The lover of the souls of men and women.
Again, how do you put that on a resume?
And soul winning. What does that even mean? You must be an example in soul winning.
Stable walk with God.
Oh my God! You know, I am not. I would never qualify. I am not filled with the Holy Ghost.
Who would qualify? That's for the parking attendant.
The Holy Ghost does not fill my loins.
If you want to work inside the building,
I don't eat.
What does that look like?
The Holy Ghost sustains me.
BNS in 20 minutes or less.
I follow a lot of ski resorts and ski pages on social media. Needless to say, I'm a big fan of snowboarding. One of the pages just posted, though, it's totally nuking. And I was like, nuking. That's a new one. And of course, it was a picture of just a ton of snow falling in this pass. And I was like, okay, so we've got dumping, crapping, puking, and nuking now. Basically, any bodily function apparently is what you use to describe, snow falling in the mountains. It's pretty funny.
Nuking doesn't even really make sense. That would melt the snow.
Yep. Doesn't matter. Probably because it rhymes with puking. Somebody's just like, let's try this one out for size. Kind of like, shredding the gnar or swimming in POW or whatever else, of course. It's funny. I used to make fun of all the ski lingo that people use. And then I find that the longer I live out here, the more it slips into my vocabulary. And it's a little bit alarming. It's like I guess, just from being out there all the time, and a lot of people around you talk like that. So you'll kind of slip the odd thing in. And when I hear myself sometimes, I'm like, you need to shut up. Shut up.
It very often doesn't sound forced to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Or not very often does it not sound forced.
Right.
I mean,
I see what you're saying. Yes.
You shoehorned that one in there.
That's what you think when you hear people say these terms. Yeah, that's fair. I was thinking in, anticipation of the upcoming ski season, maybe I could quiz you on some of the latest ski lingo.
Okay.
Or by latest, I mean, it's been around for some time, but we'll see if you get them.
I'm still cool. I
should
should
get
this.
all these. Yeah. Freshies.
That's like fresh tracks, fresh powder. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bluebird Day.
No clouds.
Stomp.
Landing a trick.
Yeah. Park rat.
Someone who just does park laps.
Yeah. Bomber.
Someone who sends it all the way down.
Yeah. Just a run you can rip down. Essentially, just a bomber. Corduroy.
Groomed runs.
Yeah, that's freshly groomed, where you can still see the lines from the groomer. Looks like corduroy.
Okay.
Death cookies.
Death cookies.
Death cookies.
This one I don't know.
Okay, it's a big chunk of like ice or snow, something that if you hit accidentally when you're going really fast, it can just send you. That's why they're called death cookies, because it doesn't end well. Yard sale.
That's where all your gear is all over the hill.
Of course. Jerry.
A Jerry isn't Jerry someone who sucks, right?
Yeah, it's basically someone who does something real boneheaded on the. Yeah, you see him, you're like, what are you doing, man?
There's that Instagram page, Jerry of the Day, which is so funny.
It is amazing. If you want to laugh,
there are Jerrys who are just ruining themselves on that.
And there's tons of Terrys on there as well. A Jerry is almost the ski equivalent of a Terry. Okay. There's like the people in the denim and stuff. You're just like, what are you doing, man? Smoking while skiing, ill prepared. A gondola.
A gondola? Mm-hmm. Is it when you hotbox a gondola?
Yeah, that was becoming more. Basically, every gondola is a gondola. Everybody likes to smoke weed in them. So there you go. And last one, sendy. Getting sendy.
Getting sendy? It's like when you feel like going big?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, you just gotta send it. Send it.
The BNS in 20 Minutes or Less podcast.
Hey, just wanted to touch on that whole snowboarder lingo conversation.
Yeah.
Every time I hear any idiot talk like that, all I can think of is Jason Bateman from Dodgeball.
You got to remind me of Jason Bateman's character in Dodgeball. It's been years since I've seen that.
Yeah.
He was one of the announcers, and all he would do is spew like absolutely ridiculous lines that had nothing to do with what they were watching.
It's so funny you say. Okay, so before I moved here, I came out to Panorama for a ski trip with some friends, and the first guy we encountered when we got there was a dude who was like, "Yo, it's totally puking. There's so much POW in Pano, man." And I looked at him. I was like, "What did you just say?" Like, you're a comic version of yourself. Like, why would you say it that way? And I was just like, that is the most ridiculous. So we made fun of him all weekend long. And then you do find that there are some people that, change their lingo to that. And I'm like, why? Just speak normal.
I lived in Banff for 4 years when I was younger and snowboarded a ton. And most of those guys are just posers.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Like total posers. They buy the best gear and their trust funds and they cruise out. They don't know how to ride.
You got to be careful throwing the P word around. When I grew up, that was the worst thing you could call someone.
It's the worst.
A poser?
Oh,
totally.
It is. Posing's worse than being a goof, man.
Yep. That's really funny. That's a great comparison, and you're right.
Poser's worse than being a goof.
I wish I should have grabbed that guy who spoke like that to me and been like, all right, let's go for a rip. Let's see how you actually snowboard. Are you capable? Or
funny where your mouth is there, X Games.
Yeah. Yeah, he winds up on the bunny hill, can't turn, wipes out. Like, oh, God.
Just snow plowing the entire way.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Poser's worse than being a goof should have been my yearbook quote. That was just...
I was going to say, you need a T-shirt with that printed on it. Like that.
Tattoo it on me.
Oh,
that's
God.
That's my mantra.
The dude with a mullet and a handlebar mustache gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
BNS in 20 minutes or less.
You love your car. Bet you'd love lower interest and lower payments, too. Refinance your auto loan with House of Cars and love the freedom of having more money in your pocket. Visit houseofcarscalgary.com.
The BNS in 20 Minutes or Less podcast.
Shauna, is there something that your boyfriend Cliff likes to leave lying around the house? I know you guys don't live together right now, but
No.
When he's...
He likes to leave little bags of garbage around the house.
Bags of garbage?
Let's say he's eating or something and he has like a Subway bag, and then he'll kind of stuff just the garbage in there, and rather than taking it to then the garbage, he'll just kind of leave that around. And I'm like, why? Take it to the garbage. Why do we don't need this little bag? So that kind of stuff. That's kind of it, I think, though.
What would he say you're guilty of leaving laying around?
Change. When I used to have change, I'd leave change all over the place. It would just spill out. Maybe socks. I'm just really eager to take my socks off for my panties. Sometimes I just like to get home and strip down, okay, and just put my panties on the ground. Unless I forget to take
socks and panties. They're both coming off the second you walk in the door.
They are, yes, for sure. I can't be in my house without, relaxing first. They just scream to get out of there.
Get these socks and panties off of me.
Yeah, like basically my feet eject the socks. There's like, bing!
Does your sin cave eject the panties too?
Yes, absolutely. I need out of here.
Just like spitting one across the room.
It's hot.
Why is it hot?
Okay.
Why is it
on? Why are you asking this question?
Because I was trying to clean up. I was cleaning the vehicle yesterday.
Not overly breathable in your pants, okay?
I was cleaning the vehicle yesterday, and McKenna has these little eyelash brushes. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because she's big into her eyelashes, right? She does eyelashes,
Yes.
like she does eyelash extensions, but she has these ones. I think she's always combing the eyelashes out, and then I think when she's done with the brush, she just yardies it wherever, like just in the back seat.
Yeah,
throws it down.
That's weird.
And so when I'm vacuuming and just sucking all these things up, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." Like,
doesn't she also the odd time throw like an apple core in the back too? Just.
We have cracked down on that, thankfully.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
because she did that in my old car.
Oh,
she just,
my God.
Yardied an apple core in the back, and then I found it well later.
It's disgusting.
It was so gross.
Moldy, and
so this isn't that
a
bad.
raccoon gnawing on it. Yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah, these little brushes they're just the bane of my existence. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
With other girls I have known, it's been the little bobby pins, little hair clips.
Yeah.
Right? And you'll find those everywhere.
As
everywhere.
a kid, when bobby pins were big, those were everywhere. My dad hated it because they'd get stuck in the washing machine and then he'd have to fix it.
Oh.
And it's bad. Like they'll get stuck. Do not put bobby pins in the washer.
McKenna
Learned that from my dad.
doesn't wear those, thankfully, because
That's
those
good.
things are everywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you had a girl stay over, you'd get caught for sure just based on those things, right?
Follow the bobby pins.
Yeah.
Trace right back to the source.
I asked McKenna what I'm guilty of leaving laying around the house, and she said two things. Clothes at the back door, because I come in from the gym and I don't want my dirty gym clothes
Okay, so
on the furniture.
does your body eject it too? Just
No.
like bam!
And also when I come in from the shop, like they're all dusty with wood dust, so I don't want to track that around the house, so I take them off at the back door. She said that and streaks in the toilet. But I didn't. You're supposed to be cleaning the toilet after every use session.
Yep.
Do people do that?
My boyfriend, we've had a chat about that as well. Because I'll clean the toilet, it'll be nice and clean, and then he'll come in and I'll be like, now the toilet is. What do you do in there?
Commit
like,
a war
do you
crime
have
in
an
there?
explosion? Like, what did you eat?
Damn, boy.
Honestly.
What you been eating? Shauna, no panties, no socks. Chewing you out for...
Just sitting there naked. Can you clean that toilet? God.
The BNS in 20 Minutes or Less podcast.
So I don't follow the NFL, as you know, Shauna, like really at all. Like
I know.
I don't have a team. I don't watch. I know
You're a CFL fan, and that's it.
That's it. I know just a few players from the NFL. I really don't pay attention to the league. But I think I have a new favorite player.
Okay.
Jamal Williams,
Oh, yeah.
who's the running back. He was the running back for Green Bay for the last few seasons. He's with Detroit now. Packers and Lions played last night. But before the game, this was a couple days ago, Jamal was asked about that move from Green Bay to Detroit. And his response is just, here it is.
Y'all act like I left on my own. Golly. I didn't do it. They didn't want me. Like that ex-girlfriend. Shoot, I gotta go. I got a rebound. It was the Lions. They picked me up. You know what I mean? Now they feeding me good, taking me to dinners. You know what I mean? Another man's trash is another man's treasure.
Oh, my God. I love him. He has such a good personality.
What a character, man.
Oh, man. He's actually on my fantasy team, Beckler. I know you care.
Good to know. I really care. I do really care.
Actually, he's on my fantasy team, so I have Jamal Williams, Mike Williams, Javonte Williams, and Tyrell Williams.
Did you just draft guys whose names were Williams?
Maybe. So I'm in this super competitive league, for those of you who don't realize, and I've won 2 of the last 3 years, and last year I picked based on teams that have cats, right? So Panthers, Jaguars, Bengals.
Are we actually talking about your fantasy right now?
We are, yeah.
I've glazed over.
This
Holy
year,
man.
we're talking about Williams. I picked my team based on Williams. I'm just Team Williams. It's easy. Yep. There you go.
I'd never heard of him before, and I saw that clip, and I was like, what? He seems like such a likable and fun guy.
Well, maybe this is your gateway into the NFL is Jamal Williams.
I'm a Jamal Williams fan.
Okay,
BNS in 20 minutes or less.
I'm watching that show Good Girls on Netflix right now, and they mentioned Hallmark movies, those cheesy made-for-TV Christmas movies in the show recently.
Yep.
And they were talking about how owning a paper store is a classic Christmas movie profession.
A paper store?
A paper store, like a stationery store, like that kind of small store.
Okay.
And I was laughing because I was like, that is totally true. And then I got thinking about the classic Hallmark movie jobs like that, like the professions that you find in those stereotypical Christmas movies.
Now, is the stationery store one because they're made by Hallmark?
I didn't even think about it that way.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
But I guess so. And maybe that's why it revolves around that. But a lot of the time, those movies are based in small towns. So the small town professions
Christmas
are.
towns.
Exactly, right? And they're classic. There are ones that you can recall that are in a ton of those movies. Like I was thinking a small town hardware store.
Okay.
So many of those movies revolve around that as well. A small bookshop. That's a profession that you see.
A quaint little bookshop.
Right, because of course every small town needs one of those.
I haven't seen many of these movies, thankfully. I mean, McKenna will have them on around Christmas, so I drop in and out. But
yeah, you can basically predict without even watching them because they're so formulaic that it's just stereotypes. Like think about a small town and be like, oh, what would be in a quaint small town?
What about working with kids?
Yes.
Anything with kids?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. The other one and this is a bit different, but there's a lot of big time lawyers in those films.
I was going to say.
Because they come into the small town.
I'm a high-powered lawyer from the city, and I don't have time for your kindergarten class's Christmas concert, right?
Yeah.
Until you find, of course, the true meaning of Christmas.
And you find love, and then you realize that it's not important. Your big high-time job out there is not as important as you think.
No.
You know what is? Family. Family comes first, okay? So that's another one that you see in all those movies. That's the classic kind of stuff you see.
The BNS in 20 minutes or less podcast.
One of my best buds is single, so I get to live the dating world through his misadventures, which is lots of fun.
Yeah, always.
He sent me a screenshot of a girl he came across on Tinder recently, though. We'll call her Jade, because that is her name on Tinder here. And I take a look at this shot. Look at her. What stands out to you about her profile picture?
What in God's name is happening here? She is squatting with her bare ass out in front of a
camper van.
With pee on what?
Like she's clearly just peed everywhere.
Why? Yeah,
you can see her bare ass.
I have so many questions.
Like she's standing in the pee.
She's
squatting in the pee, I should say.
Is this supposed to? That can't be real. Like that's got to be a joke.
Well, no? I wondered. Like, is it her friends trying to sue her or something? Like they took this photo on a road trip, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll make you a fake profile as a joke."
Well, you wouldn't have that as
I don't think so.
Your leading profile, not to mention at all, but like, with.
Yikes.
That's a strange
Maybe it is
one.
a joke because, her description is, I live in my van in need of a shower.
Okay.
Or maybe she's serious. Maybe she thinks that's
what it is. The golden shower life is what some people want, and
I don't know. Okay. Like I'm wondering, who's swiping? Is it right that you swipe when you like someone?
Yeah.
Who's swiping right on that? Maybe that's your thing, I guess.
Well, I was going to say though, if you're into something like that, you'd go a little more niche of a place than just Tinder as a whole to be really viewed by everybody. You know.
Needless to say, he didn't swipe on her.
No, I would have just to see.
I think it could have been. It could have been love.
Started chatting with her and been like, "Hey, I like your thunder bin. Let's talk."
I like the way you pissed all over your shoes there.
Why do you have pee all over the place? That is a weird. Yeah, I have no explanation.
And then if
for
it
that
goes
one.
somewhere like, Mom, Dad, this is Jade.
Yes, that would be a really romantic story, you know?
You've been listening to the BNS in 20 minutes or less podcast.
For House of Cars. Until January 15th, enter to have House of Cars wipe out your debt for free. No strings attached. Visit houseofcarscalgary.com.
You want more? Then tune in to X Mornings with Beckler and Shauna live on Calgary's alternative X929. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. Mountain Time at x929.ca. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and have BNS in 20 minutes or less downloaded daily to whatever device you use. Later.